Okay, so we've got an issue in the garden with apples and the dogs eating them. They're cooking apples, so they don't really do the dogs any favours, but they do insist on going out there and chewing the apples up, whether they're, you know, whole apples or whether I've gone over them with the mower and there's apple chunks everywhere. We don't want to chop the apple trees down, so I wondered if a blower might blow them off of the grass into the compost area where the dogs don't really go because it's full of nettles. So we've had this for months. I've just not had a chance to review any of the products that I've got sat here. It's a McCullough GB355 BP. It's a backpack blower, supposed to be for larger areas, and I'm hoping that it will do the job. So I thought we'd just have a quick look at it, see what sort of build quality we're looking at. Okay, so we have some plasticky nozzles. Yeah, these clearly just lock together and form a longer tube. I mean, it really is horribly plasticky and flimsy. Don't want to be banging that around too much, I shouldn't think. Another intermediate one there. So 3 of those. We have quite a thick multi-language book. Obviously this is a 2-stroke machine. We've got a quick start guide, and this is a 50-to-1 mixture, so I'm hoping they've included a mixing bottle in here, because I think my mixing bottles are only 40-to-1. So yeah, quick start guide, limited warranty leaflet, and an additional page has been slung in there. Looks like it is details about the strap, just trying to find the English. Oh good. At the front of the shoulder harness is an easily accessible quick release. Use the quick release in any emergency situation that requires you to free yourself from the machine. Oh, okay then, that's not promising, is it? I'm expecting some problems. Okay, multiple language book, and don't even know where the English version is. It's got to be in there somewhere. Oh, there we go. Oops, English version starts on page 80 by the looks of it. So we'll chuck everything back in there so we've got the right page. In case you're wondering what happened here, we had to put the cats into kennels, so we locked them in the conservatory overnight. Left this in front of the cat flap and they literally chewed their way out. So as this is damaged, might as well just bring this out the side, he says. In the base here there is a plug spanner. So it looks like we've got the throttle assembly there. We've got a more flexible rubber hose here with Jubilee clips. And unfortunately we do not have a bottle. We've got the main reservoir there, we've got the starter handle there, we have got the choke on the side. There is, I'm sure, a rubber, yeah, just underneath here. You've got the usual priming button there. They do perish over time. You can buy them readily online. Simple padded harness. The back is also padded, which is nice. This is obviously where the rubber piece goes on there, and then you attach the rest to it. Assume that's the one that goes on there, and the that would be a permanent piece, the rubber to the machine, and that, because you've got the metal circlips here, and then you just remove the 2 extra nozzles, assuming you've got the space to store it like that. I suspect this will be unscrewed probably every time. Oh, what a shame they have not included a mixing bottle. And what a shame it's 50:1 and not a more common 40:1 or 25:1 that we've got bottles for. Clearly labelled on here 50:1. It actually has a diagram of where to put the lever for the choke. Pump the priming bulb 10 times. There is an on-off switch somewhere apparently. Which I don't happen to be seeing. Why would there be an on-off switch? I guess you've got to stop it. Now, why can't I see the on-off switch? Well, that's stupid. Big red on-off switch, it says. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is it on the handle? Yes, it is. Yeah, very stupid. So we've got a now that's interesting. It looks like you've got a lock here to lock the throttle on. Now, that's a feature that's missing from a number of products that I've got, mainly the pressure washer. I often want to press the trigger on the pressure washer and just lock it in. But no, the only way you can lock the pressure washer is you can lock it off, which is just stupid. So there's the on-off button there. Okay, so it's fixed in the on position, and to kill things you just press and hold the off position till it stops, and then release it. And why they couldn't, I don't know, perhaps too many people didn't realise if it was just an on-off switch. Perhaps a lot of people left it in the off position and then wondered why they couldn't start it. So it is stuck in the on position, so no problem. So yeah, we're now going to have to go and find a way of mixing up 50:1 fluid, but it looks pretty good. It's not particularly, I wonder if we can quickly weigh it. I'm sure the weight's on it somewhere, but let's see if we can weigh it on our scales, including the strap. Let's put that on that, include that, and you're talking about 8.6 kilos, so not particularly heavy. So I think what we'll do is we'll go and get some fuel mixed up, and then come back and look at starting this. And then I'll see if I can try and set up something in the garden and actually get this working. So back in a while. Okay, back again. We are just going to look at assembling the pipes, because it's there's a particular way of doing it. So first thing they suggest is just a little bit of lubricant. I've got some grease here. We're just going to run a little bit of that around this. I'll help it on and off as required. Just slacken the circlip as much as you can, both ends. We'll just slide on there, make sure it goes right to the back, and then we'll just do that up. So, same with this end. Again, they suggest a little bit of lubricant on the end of this, so once again I'll just use some of that contact grease I've got. It doesn't need much, just a little, and we'll pop that on there. Now this is important. You've got two pieces here that need to go into this and align, and then you turn the whole thing, and then this raised bit here needs to be at the top because it sits in there. You see the way that's got to cut out at the top. So after this goes in, just rotate it so it is upright, and again position the circlip and do that up. So this goes on by putting it in sideways like that. That's where those little raised bits line up. Push it in, and you'll see at some point you'll be able to turn it there, and then line it up and put it back on there like so. I forgot to mention there is a thumb screw just underneath there that needs to be loosened off fully first, and then you can tighten that back up again, and that is then going to keep a good grip on there. So that would be the basic position of the tube. I'm not entirely sure where this is supposed to go. I did just say make sure it doesn't get twisted. So yeah, I have to have a look at the pictures, see if it's shown. In my case I think it was just stuck through like that. So that's it, that is how you assemble this. You can see what's going to be happening over the years. This rubber is going to harden and then probably split. You can probably keep this going if you use some of that stuff I used to use on the spa lid. It was a plastic protector. I can't remember. I'm going to put the link to that in the description, but coating that in some of that probably help this last. Again, don't get petrol on this, don't store it in excess conditions, heat, cold, etc. But yeah, there we go. So now on to the petrol side. Okay, so after a trip to the petrol station to fill the car up, we've got 5 litres, just a little bit over a gallon of fuel. On the quick start guide it does state 2.6 ounces, and that's obviously fluid ounces of synthetic 2-stroke oil with 1 gallon of gasoline. Now that doesn't specify where it's a UK gallon, US gallon. 2.6 fluid ounces it should say instead of ounces, but if you then go into the book it will state here that 5 litres of petrol is 100 millilitres of 2-stroke oil. That makes it the 1:50 ratio, so we're just going to pour out 100. There we go. And we're going to pour that into here, hopefully without making a pig's ear of it. What I'll do is I'll mix this up outside. Well, actually I'm going to shake it up in here first and then probably pour a little drop back into that jug and get the rest of it in there, and then we will move to the garden and we'll give this a go. We'll fill it up and give it a bash. So back in a moment. Right, back outside. A couple of things I didn't mention. When you slot these bits together, you've got to twist them, and those raised bits will then click into these two pieces. There's one on the other side, but what you also have is some metal screws that you've got to screw in. Just loosen them slightly so they're flush on the inside. Click these into place and then just do these up, and this is pivoting on this bit here. It's obviously supposed to, so you can operate it comfortably. Seems to me that the easiest way to put this on is probably slide it to the front of something raised like the spar lid, and then just strap it on after starting it. You know, you've got no chance of starting it once you've got it on. So next stage is we're going to have to fill this up, hopefully without getting it everywhere. Probably a funnel was a good idea here. And that's your normal running position, and then you've got full choke up the top. So that's it. 10 presses of the bulb that is just underneath there to prime it, and should be good to go. Okay, we are filled with 50 to 1. Definitely the way to go is to get it up high enough where you can back into it and get the straps around your arm. An important feature here, in case anything should ever go hugely wrong, like the thing catches fire or anything like that, there is a safety release mechanism on here if you want to get it off quick, or if somebody else needs to get it off of you quick. And it works like this. Just pull the red tab and it's released. What I'll do is I'll just put the camera down here and show you how that works. This part, that's the quick release piece there on the red. Lift that up, pop it through there, and pop that through there and pull. That is now fixed, but if you have an issue, just pull that and it's off in literally a split second, so that couldn't be easier. And there is the same feature the other side. So let's see if we can start this up. Don't forget your ear and eye protection. Put that on now, I think, and see if we can get this to fire up. So first thing, the choke on, go to the bulb. You should see fuel being sucked up into the pipes. There it goes. It's primed when it starts coming back down the other side. There we go, hopefully you saw that. That bulb is now quite hard, and we should be able to start that up. That's in the on position. We're going to put this to the fast idle speed. I'm going to have to put this down, which is there. There we go, fast idle. And we should be able to start this now. Let's give it a couple of tugs and see if it will start. and there we go. Perhaps not as powerful as I was hoping, but bear in mind the grass is extremely wet from all the rain we had yesterday. It's far from dried out, so I think that was a pretty reasonable go. It will certainly do what I want it to, which is remove the apples from the grass. So yeah, job done.